Hi everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, and in this video you're going to see that EDA with Pandas. We'll discuss every methods, every formula in this video. So the very first is data loading. It's mean that how can you load your data? Your data sets. Your data may be in the form of CSV, comma separated value, also in the form of Excel, or you need to also load it from an database. It may be SQL. So when you read the CSV file, you can using here this pd.read underscore CSV, and you can basically give the file path, or you can say file name .csv, and you can store it inside a variable called df. So in the case of Excel file, you can using here the method called pd.read underscore excel, and the file name .xlsx. This is the file extension of the Excels. And from SQL, so same thing, pd.read underscore SQL, and you need to give it to here your query and the connections. If you are using here the MongoDB, okay, no MongoDB, because MongoDB is no SQL database. You need to give it to here a local host if you are using PHP MyAdmin or the jams. Cool. Now let's see the second one, that's called the basic data inspections. Okay, so here you can basically using here these comments, or you can say the code shell df.head. It will help you to display the top row. It basically show the top 5 rows. And then you can also using here the df.tail. It will basically give you the bottom rows. It basically the 5 bottom rows. You can also initialize here the number, how many row you are going to interested to see. You can give it here 10, 12, whatever you can. Okay, and then display the data types. You can using here this one df dot data type. So here df is nothing but our data set that we basically loading using here our pandas library, pd library. Cool. So you can check d types, and using df dot describe method you can basically see the summary of statistics. You can basically see on a statistical summary like count the 25%, 5 percentile, 50% percentile, 75% percentile, mean, standard deviation, everything you can see on here. And if you want to see the index, the columns, and also the data, you can using here this df.info. So this is called basic data inspection. So when you have a data, you can basically apply those technique in order to see just how the data is basically look like. Cool. And after that, the most important part, it's called data cleaning. Data cleaning is called a 50% of data science. If you do the 50% of data cleaning, if you do the data cleaning, it means that 50% of data science job is already done. Okay, let's see the first one, check for the missing value. So how can you check that? You can using here df.isNull.sum. Super simple. It will basically calculating here all of the null value and try to give you the summations of that. And how can you fill the missing value? Because this is very important in the case of data cleanings. So df.fillNow, and you can basically give the values. FillNow means basically give you the null value. And when you basically have the null value, you can fill it with 0, or you can fill it to the mean. You can also fill it with the mode, everything you can actually use that. Drop the missing value if you have any kind of column which is not actually important, and this time you can basically using here this df.drop now. And then when into renaming here the columns, you can using here df.renames, and in the column name you can give it to here an old name and also an new name. It means that let's say I need to renaming here one column. Let's say I have a column called, let's say, gender, like that, gender. Okay, here r is basically capital, or e is not here, so I can basically renaming it out. I can just give it here an whole name, and I can also give it to here a new name, let's say gender, like that. Okay, I can basically renaming it like this one. And drop columns is basically help you to drop the columns. Let's say one column is very not important, so I can easily drop the column from this entire data set. In this case, I can using here this df.drop. Okay, one call is coming. Okay, sorry for the interruptions. Okay, and now let's see the data transformations, that how can you basically transform your data. Okay, this is called the data transformations. So you can basically using the apply functions. So you can see here df of column, which column it have, and you can basically creating here and predefined functions, or you can also creating here your own functions. And this case you can using here this apply methods. Super simple. And then after the group by and aggregations, df.group by, it's very, very important in the case of feature engineering. So you can see df.group by the column and aggregations of summations. You can see on that. That how can you basically group by and aggregate your data. And then you can see the pivot tables, df.pivot tables, and index is column 1 and values is column 2, and aggregation function is basically the mean. So it's basically creating here a pivot table of that. Okay, you can basically create that. It's super simple. And then after that, how can you basically merging here to data frame? Now let's say I have a data called let's say movie data. So in the movie data, let's say I have a data called user and another one is called the rating. So how I need to merging these two data sets, I can basically using here this df dot merge. And you can basically give it here my data set path, super simple, and on basis of column, on basis of columns, super simple. And then after that, how you need to concatenate any kind of data frame, we can basically using here this thing, pd.concat, and you can passing here our data frame. That's it. And now let's see number 5, that's called data visualization. That how can you basically visualize here our data in terms of finding here any kind of patterns. Okay. So we can apply here the histograms. You can say d of a column and you can using here this hist methods. And for the case of box plot, it basically help you to removing the outlier, So you can using here this kind of box plot. So df.box plot, and you can passing here the columns, column 1 and column 2. You can give it to any of them. A scatter plot, it's basically help us to finding here any kind of regression thing. It's basically used in the case of linear regression. That's why you can using this plot, a scatter plot. And line plot, you can see on here line plot. You can see you can creating here a best fit line using this one. Okay, this is very important things. Okay, and the bird chart, it's basically used in the case of a student. When you have the merge of students, you can show it in the form of bird chart, or if you have the multiple number of actually features, you can also show the count of that using here this kind of techniques. Okay. Now let's see the important one. That's called statistical analysis. This is very important. So correlation analysis. Correlations mean how the two columns is correlated to each other. It can be negative, it can be the positives. So all the covariance that you can see, and the value counts, that how can you basically do the value counts, the unique value, which I have the unique value. Let's say I have a target column, let's say call the labels. Okay. So how I need to basically calculating here the unique value of there. Let's say I have level called 0 and 1. It's mean that I can identify that this is in binary classifications. So using here this unique keyword, you can also classify that is it binary or is it any kind of the multi-class classifications, or in any of the data it have the duplicate value or not, any kind of problems. You can basically checking these unique ones. And number of unique, that how many unique number it have, it basically give you 1, 2, 3 or like that. Okay. And then indexing and selection. This is also very important. How you divide your data sets into training, testing, and splitting. Okay. So select column, you can selecting here the column, any of the selecting columns. Then selecting the multiple column. How you need to selecting here any kind of multiple column. You can using here this technique, call 1 and call 2. And you can select by positions. You can select it by position. Index positions. You can say index position. I lock index locations. So select by row by levels. You can levels. You can select it based on the levels. Let's say I have a level called, let's say, name. So I can select it based on the name. I don't need to select it based on the index. Okay. And there are conditional selections. Let's say I have a conditions. Let's say if the people age or the person age is greater than 18, he can vote. So like that, I can give it to this kind of conditional statement. It basically help you to the to do the actually data analysis. Okay. And now let's see data formatting and conversions, which is also important. How you have any kind of categorical value, or how you have the numbers, but in the from a string, but it convert it to the numbers. So you can also checking this out. Okay. So you can convert the data types. You can see data of D of the columns and as type of type. You can give it here type. So now let's say this is nothing but a string, but I need to convert it into integer. I can easily do this out. Okay. And string operations, I can also convert everything into lowercase letter because this is very important in case of NLP. Okay. So how you basically do the sentiment analysis, you need to also convert the data in the case of lowercase letter. Okay, we can do it out in the case of string. And date time conversion is basically very important in the case of time series analysis. How you need to convert our date time in the correct formats. Okay, I mean Pandas data frame. Setting the index, you can say df.set index. You can set the index of that, and you can basically give it here any kind of columns if the index is not available. That's it. Now let's see the advanced data transformation, which is very, very important. See lambda function. So how you have the lambda function is look like the iterations. Okay, it look like the iteration. It automatically done everything. You don't need to creating here any kind of follow-ups. You can using the lambda functions. This is advanced data transformation technique. Okay. The pivot longer or wider format, you can say df.malt. You can using the malt functions to checking the wider formats. Okay, it may be the row to wider, or you can checking here the wider to row like that. You can see df.stack and df.unstack. And the cross tabulations is basically help you to creating here a cross tabulations using pandas. That's it. Now, how can you basically handling the time series data? How can you handle the time series data? So you can basically set here and date time index that you can see. So you can using here df.set index, and inside that you can give it here your date time. I mean, you can using here date time as your index. That's it in the case of time series data. Resampling data, it's also important in the case of time series. How you need to basically resampling your data. You can basically resampling it based on the mean. Okay. Rolling window operations, it's also important in case of a stock data analysis. Stock data analysis, you can using here this rolling window operations, as well as it's also important in case of large language models. How we basically put here our section of data, we can using here this rolling window operations. Cool. Now file export, write to CSV, Excel or SQL database, you can using it two, super simple. Data exploration techniques, so you can using here this profile report with Pandas profiling, you can using here this technique. So you can do the data explorations, and you can also using here the PR plot. For in the case of data explorations, you have cat on chart like that. And you can also do the heat map for correlations. If you want to see the data in the form of heat map, you can also using the heat map for correlations with the seaburns. Now let's see the advanced data queries. So you can using here this query function, or you can also using here the filtering functions. Okay, this kind of function you can actually apply here. How you need to apply here any kind of query in your data sets. Okay. Now memory optimization is very, very important because in case of machine learning models, the memory is very, very important. So you should remember that how can you basically reducing here our memory users. So this time you can using a df.memory users, and you can make it difficult to. And also you can change the data type to save the memory. You can change like that if you know to convert it into the category. So if it is necessary, you can also convert it category like that. Okay. Now let's the multi-index operations. So you already see that how can you basically set the index in the case of multiple data. And you can slicing on multi-index. You can slice is based on in multi-index. If you have the multiple number index for the multiple data sets, you can also apply it to here. Okay, this kind of technique you can basically apply. So make sure that you have the note and pen and paper, and you can just pause the video and you can basically note it down. Okay. Now data merging technique, it's very important. It's coming from the SQL. It's coming from the SQL. So in SQL, we have the four types of join, like outer join, inner join, left join, and the right joins. So you can see outer join and inner join. Inner join means it's basically look like that. Inner join, this part. Left join, this left part. Left part is important, and right join means right part is basically important. It means that we're taking the all data from the left side, we're taking the right data from the all sides. Okay, that's it. Okay. So you can using here pd.merge, and you can basically using here df dot comma dot df2, because in case of merge, we need to have the two of data. So how you can give it here outer, how inner, how left, and how right. That's it. That's it. Now let's see dealing with duplicates. So it will help you to cleaning here the messy data. So clean the messy data set before training any kind of machine learning models. So how can you find duplicate? You can using a df duplicate, and you can also drop the duplicates if you want to do that. Okay. Now see custom operations with apply. That how can you basically use that? So if I give it to axis equal to 1, it's mean that it's working in the case of row. In the case of row, it basically slow your alert, because if you have the large amount of data, it basically slow. It basically make you slow for last data, and you can using the factorization operations how it's basically possible. Okay. Now, how can you handling the data sets? I mean, large data set. How you have the large data sets? How can you handle it? You can maybe split it into some kind of chunks that you do in the rack, and also you can iterating through the data chunks. You can do that. So you can using the pd.dscp, and you can give it to your large file path, and you can give it to your and chunk size, which will actually help you to save your RAM when working with the large CSP. That's it. That's it. Now let's see the integrations with matplotlib for custom plot. Okay, if you need to do the custom plot, you can also integrate with matplotlib, because this is an important library. Specialized data type handling, you can see working with categorical data, how you need to handle it, you can using these ones. And dealing with sparse data. Sparse data is nothing but call how you need the most of the values basically 0. This is called sparse data. You can deal with them, pd.array, .sparse array, and you can pass in here the d of columns. That's it. That's it. Now let's see for the performance tuning. It's basically help you to the performance tuning in the case of big data processing. Again, big data processing. Big data processing, you can using this Swifter. So using the Swifter for first apply, you can import it and you can basically apply here the Lambda functions, whatever function you are using or whatever building function you are actually building, you can apply it here. Okay. Now let's see the visualization enhancement. This is also very important. So you can do the float style. You can give it some of the float style, GG float, so it look cool. And you can using here the third 5T, okay, 3, 5, 30 like that. And histogram with beans, if you have any kind of beans format like that. So you can also convert it in the kinds of beans, how many beans you needed. And box plot is grouped by the category. When you are interested to removing the outlier, you can also box plot it based on the group by methods. Okay. Now let's say advanced grouping and aggregations. You can see group by multiple columns. You can see group by how can you group that, and how can you using here in the form of the aggregations functions. So you know that we have the multiple number of aggregation functions like mean, the medians, the summations, the count, average. You can group by first, and you can apply here this aggregation functions. Okay. Now transform function, you can use it here if you wanted to transform your data in the form of mean or modes. You can using here the group by. It's basically important how you need to fill with the missing value. Okay. Then time series specific operations, you can see you can shifting the series by the lag analysis. You can see you can using here the shift methods, or you can resampling your time series data. If you want to resampling your data, it's basically use it in the case of a stock, as well as in the case of the cells or any kind of the string data it actually apply. Okay. And then after that, we have the text data specific operations. We can do the string contains, that we can check any kind of substring, especially important in the case of substrings. And then you can also do the string splits and the regular expression extraction. If you want to extracting here the regular expression is also help us in the case of NLP. You can stack it. Okay. And then after that, you have the data normalizations and standardizations. It's very, very important when you are basically trained any kind of machine learning projects. It's very important in the before of the ML model making. Okay. So you can using here this mean max scalars. You can see this is the formula of that. You can just pause and you can take a snapshot of that. And then you can see the Z-score standardizations, how it look like. Okay. And then working with JSON data, how you need to reading any kind of JSON file or any kind of XML files, you can using here this pd.read.jsons. Okay. Then advanced file handling, you can see read CSV with a specific delimiters. You can use it here. You can also checking my videos maybe disease predictions. We also using here this kind of delimiters. And then writing in the form of JSONs, how you need to use it in the case of API, you can basically using here this kind of techniques. Okay. Now, how can you dealing with missing value? You can see you can interpolate here the missing value, or you can forward the field in the missing value, or you can also fill the backward of the missing value. Okay, backward value with the missing. Okay, and data reshaping, you can see white to long format or long to white format, and you can see how can you change it. And then categorical data operations, and you can see how can you convert it to the categories, and also advanced indexing. You can reset index, and you can set here the multiple index if it needed. We already discussed about that. And efficient computations, how you need to do the efficient computations of the column 1 and column 2 or any kind of column. You can basically do these kind of operations, or you can also do the query that you already see on here before. And the last one is called integrations with SciPy and states model. This is very important when you are basically using here these linear regressions. So you can import here stat model or API as SL, and then you can using this always methods, and you can feed it. And after that, you can also using here this SciPy in the case of kurtosis and the skewness with the SciPy. You can SciPy from stats and input his kurtosis skew and this kind of thing. Okay. मुझे लगता है थोड़ा बोरिंग लगे इसमें, बहुत सारा इधर पे फाइल एक्चुअली लाइन देख सकते हो. This is very important when you're basically computing yourself in the case of EDA. So that's it for today now. I hope you enjoyed this full tutorial, and make sure to subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. And thank you and bye bye.